Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Look at that. Welcome to the Q&A, everybody. Yes, okay, so I'm Rachel and this is Hannah. And we're on a road trip right now. We're in the Tetons.
The Tetons!
And now in the Tetons. And we're gonna be answering the questions that our friends asked us on Instagram. And then we hit so many areas of bad service.
Yeah, they're like, we'll answer them on the road, tee-hee. And then we're like, oh, just kidding, we can't even see the questions.
Okay, lots of good questions. Let's get down to it. Let's start with, where are you going?
Yeah.
Okay. We got like 4 questions. Where are we going? Okay, where did we go, Hannah?
Okay, so we started in St. Charles, Minnesota. Boop. And then we woke up at 2 a.m. We're on the road by 3. We drove from 3 a.m. Straight through to Bozeman, Montana, so about a 15-hour drive.
In one day.
So we hit Bozeman around like 8 o'clock.
Yes.
And we settled in, bunkered down at a rest stop in Bozeman. We just stayed the night.
We car camped.
Yeah. Car camped at a Bozeman rest stop. Then we woke up at 5.
Yeah.
We were on the road by 6 out of Bozeman. And we drove from Bozeman through Coeur d'Alene.
In Idaho, so like the hat of Idaho, into Washington. We had lunch in Spokane. And then we drove to Portland, Oregon, and we had dinner in Portland then. So you're telling me that I got coffee at 5 a.m. in Bozeman, had lunch in
Spokane,
Washington,
picnic in Spokane,
and then ate dinner in Portland? Okay, so then we basically spent a couple days in Portland. We went to the Oregon coast, we went down the coast, then we went to Umpqua National Forest, and we did hiking to the hot springs there, car camped a couple nights, then we had an Airbnb in Idaho, and now we're in the Tetons, and we're staying overnight in Casper tonight, and then tomorrow we're back home. That's where we were going, that's where we've been, and so to answer those questions. Okay, next question. Does nature or nurture form a person's personality?
I think nurture. I think a lot of your siblings, like who you grow, if you have siblings, I think your parents and their philosophies and how they were raised, I think your financial situation, I think the neighborhood that you're in, I think the school district that you're in, I think all of those things honestly mold who you are.
Yeah, I would 100% say nurture, but I also am interested to hear some cases for nature.
Yeah.
So
I think you're created to be the best you that you become. I think I'm heavily influenced by like people, music, art.
So are we saying 2 points for nurture?
I say 2 points for nurture and a half point for nature.
Next question. Okay, so we had a barrage of questions from Katie. Katie Ryan, my brother's girlfriend.
Katie, I feel like I know you even though I don't know you. Hit me up. Follow me on Insta, @H136.
You guys need to add each other on Insta. Okay,
I heard you like cows.
Who's cooler, Katie or Michael, and why do you choose Katie? Cats or dogs, and why do you choose dogs? Not really giving us much leeway. Oh, what's 9 plus 10?
There's breadth and then there's depth. And Katie's really, she's
a step below depth with those questions. Next one. Okay, Suzanne asked, do you have any advice for your little? I just want to clear the air. I'm not actually in a sorority. I was never in a sorority. That needs to be on the record. Everyone needs to know that. Not a Greek life gal. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a loving joke. Stop. This is so detrimental to the brand. Okay, Suzanne, my advice to you, do not care what anybody thinks. What's your advice for Suzanne? Let's tailor it to what's our advice for young people.
Okay, younger people.
Don't care what anyone thinks. Do your thing.
If you're passionate about something, share that passion with other people because like don't be afraid to be like, I like this thing a lot because in college is where you'll find other people who like that thing.
And don't care what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
At all.
I think those go hand in hand.
Yes, exactly. Okay, next one. Fave travel destination you've been to?
I'm gonna say Scotland.
I'm Florence, Italy. Florence is literally one of the most magical European cities you could ever visit. Mitchell wants to know cash or credit. Well, it used to be cash back when I bartended, but then lost my job because of COVID, and now it's like places don't even take cash. On our trip, we have literally places have been like, oh, we don't do cash, we don't do checks anymore, and it's all credit. So I guess it's a credit society or bust. You know
I know. Using cash, I'm like, I'm not actually spending this money.
Cash is fake to me. Tip money was great for that reason because like, I mean, I used it to like pay bills and stuff, but I mean, it still didn't feel like it never really was in my bank account.
I never have cash on me because I never had a job where it was like I had an income of cash.
Like a tip job.
Yeah, I never had a tip job.
I'm gonna go cash just for the aesthetic.
Yeah.
2 points cash.
I'm gonna go coins.
Give me them nickels. Like a JFK 50-cent piece. That type
I'm
of
gonna
coin.
go vintage collector coins. That's my final answer.
Cash. I'm cash for the aesthetic. She's
collector coins.
Collector coins.
Silver.
Wow. Okay. Favorite Taylor Swift song? I knew this would come up at some point.
I'll let the T-Swizzle, goddess answer.
My favorite is, I love Fearless from Fearless, the album, and it just makes me feel like I'm like 15 again. I love that song. It's just so nostalgic in like the best way possible. It's so hard for me to answer this question because there's just so many good ones. I don't know. I think that I could make a strong case for Epiphany from Folklore, though. I love Epiphany from Folklore. That song is so good.
So I would say maybe mine is, I really like the song Clean.
Yeah. You are a Clean fan.
Yeah, I do like that. I could bop to that at any time. But I also really like the iconic, and it doesn't even count because I don't even think I could recall the name. The one with the music video.
The one with the music video?
The one with the music video. The names.
What?
The names on the shirt.
Oh, You Belong With Me?
Yeah.
Junior Jewels?
Yeah. I think that one's iconic.
The Junior Jewels. Okay, Dakota wants to know, what are the essential car snacks? And I said Cheez-Its, white cheddar Cheez-Its specifically. No other kind, just white cheddar Cheez-Its.
Peanut butter M&Ms.
Yeah, and we both love candy, so we've been snacking on various types of candy, but also water. I like LaCroix personally. She hates LaCroix, but just water. You gotta stay hydrated, so. Okay, next question. Do you believe in alternate universes or timelines?
We talked about this. I
Yeah.
dig a good movie that makes me think about these things.
Yeah.
I dig a good book that makes me think about these
Yeah.
things. I don't know if
I've never
have an opinion.
I've never conceptualized it, honestly. I've never thought about it in depth.
I do think like alternate timelines. Like I do think, oh, what would happen if I had made this tiny change, if I hadn't transferred, if I hadn't, done something, like what timeline would my life be on?
Yeah, honestly, this world that we live in is hard enough to process the way that it is, so I'll listen to your case, anyone who wants to make a case for it, so like.
Yeah, comment.
Comment your alternate timeline and universe down below. Someone should have asked a BTS question.
Who's my favorite BTS member? Let's just pretend it's a question.
Okay, somebody.
My favorite BTS member is...
Okay, next one. Most embarrassing / hilarious story from your middle school days.
I think I was just all the time embarrassing in middle school, so we'll just pretend that didn't happen. But I think that my most embarrassing moment is my junior year of high school. I was new at a school. It was my first full year at this new school. And in the fall, so like early in the school year, we made it to state. And we won, which was awesome.
Which is amazing.
And we won. The whole student section was there. This was like the first time, some people probably knew my name. And not to mention, the whole Excel Center was full of people.
Oh, yeah.
And we like ran up as a team to accept the award, and I face planted. They had my hands too, so when I face planted, they just like drug me like along, and this was in front of the whole Excel Center. Yeah, and it's like there's pictures of it and everything, and
They
people won't
got it
let me
on
forget
camera.
Yeah, but also we won state, and like everyone was celebrating, so I was like, screw that, like we won.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was funny.
Okay, so when I was in 7th grade, and where I grew up was when you started in the high school. I mean, there was a middle school hallway, but it was 7th through 12th in one building. So when I got to 7th grade, on my first day, I remember going to geography class, and I do not remember the premise whatsoever and how we got on this topic, but our geography teacher ended up telling the class that Santa wasn't real, but he was like, you guys like know that Santa's not real, right? And everybody was like, oh my God, yeah, like of course we know. And I was literally sitting in the back like, what? Like, I had no idea.
The calculus is spinning around your head.
Literally, and it was so funny to me because I was genuinely sitting there like, what the heck? Like, my life is a lie. I was starting to get into that phase where I was kind of starting to question, but I had never been like straight up told Santa's not real.
And also all your classmates were just like, yeah, we're so cool, we know.
Oh my gosh.
So you couldn't be
not
like,
real. I felt like I was the only one who was still believing in Santa at that age, and I was like, oh my God, I need to grow up, what the heck? And then I went home and like cried. I was internally embarrassed.
Yeah. Like, and I feel like internally embarrassed is harder than like laugh it off embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like mine, I could laugh off and be like, everyone saw, it is what it is. But you had to be like, I didn't know.
I was genuinely like shocked. I mean, it's funny to me now, but I just cannot believe that I actually believed in Santa that long. Like, I was a true believer forever. Next question. At this very moment, what do you think your purpose in life is?
Oh, I think at this very moment, my purpose in life is to explore, learn, but also unlearn. I think those are the three things I need to do as a human right now.
Just Wow, that answer.
Succinct, sweet.
Yeah, like I'm gonna steal all three of those answers because those are really good. I also think that like my purpose right now is to be like learning as much as I possibly can and being like as self-aware as I possibly can, which is kind of what you said. I feel like that'll probably be a continuous purpose. I hope it's a continuous purpose, but also I feel like because I'm young, I want to be able to take advantage of things while I'm still young. Like we're literally doing this huge road trip where we have this brutal itinerary. We've been traveling all over. We've been car camping, and I mean, we're gonna hit a point where that's just not gonna be possible anymore. And so I feel like we're young and we're able-bodied and we can, you know, travel like this. And I feel like we're gonna look back on this and be like, that was so special that we chose to do this at this age when we could. And I'm happy that I'm taking advantage of it like now in my life. So it's like, go high risk, high reward when you're young. Kind of thing, I guess, is my purpose or what I'm thinking, you know? I like that one. That was a good question. Thank you.
That was a great question. Thanks, Molly.
Your Instagram bio says that you make a mean PB&J. What is your PB to J ratio? So this is a pretty specific to Hannah question, so I'm gonna hand the mic over to her.
I'll never tell.
Next question is from Krista. What fictional creature would you want as a pet? I want to provide a small little backstory. We drove through Wyoming on our way to the Oregon coast.
Like for a bit.
Yeah, like a hot second.
Yeah.
And when we were in Wyoming, we listened to the Spirit soundtrack, and I don't think I can put into words like the spiritual experience that was. We were having so much fun and just screaming the lyrics and having the best time. I would 100% make have Spirit the horse as my fictional pet. So there you go.
Such a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Such a good soundtrack. And that was like childhood nostalgia, so that even made it better, you know? So
yeah.
All right, what's yours?
I think that I want like a little sprite or like a woodland like a woodland nymph. Yeah, like a woodland nymph.
That would be
like my sidekick. I could like put them in like a little pocket.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
And then they could like play tricks on people for me. Like a little Tinkerbell. Like I want somebody who's gonna like go out, I'm gonna like, you know what, I need this information. And they could be like a fly on the wall.
Oh, I love that. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Wild stallion, little forest fairy.
Little forest nymph sprite.
A sprite. A wild stallion.
Wild stallion. This is very, I think our personalities really come through in this answer.
Yeah, no kidding. Favorite sports memory?
Well, I mentioned this earlier when I said I tripped and fell on my face. That was also a really cool experience because the state experience was cool. It was my first time going to state. So that's cool in high school. But I also played collegiate athletics.
Yep. She was a beast in college. Like, cooler than you. Sorry.
No!
No. We love you. You're probably very cool, but no kidding.
The most elevated level of play I've ever reached was in college, and that was, we had a game that went to 5 sets. And we lost 18-16. So it is bittersweet, but I don't think like we as a team reached a level of play that intense or like that connected. Like everyone was on the same wavelength. It felt like unstoppable.
When I was a senior in high school, my dance team, we were on fire my senior year, and the last 3 competitions that we danced at was our conference meet, a random meet right before sections, and then our section tournament. And we had 2 routines, so a jazz routine and a kick routine. And we placed first in both of those routines at all 3 of those competitions. And so we clean sweeped our section.
So you kicked ass.
Yeah, so we kicked ass, and like that was really cool to get 2 blue medals. And everybody was like cheering for us, and like the screaming in the crowds and in the stands was so loud. And that was amazing. Like I've never felt an athletic moment that intense and that like amazing. So that was really fun. So shout out to my dance team. What's the coolest license plate you've seen so far?
First, I would say Oregon, the one with the pine tree in the middle, and it's like purpley. But then
Utah. We recently saw Utah, and we were like, that's awesome.
Top tier.
That's cool. I also like Wyoming because there's a cowboy in the middle, and I just
wild
like
stallion.
That. Love that wild stallion vibe. I want to be a cowboy.
I want to be a cowboy.
I want to be a cowboy, baby. I want to be a cowboy.
Let's do favorite Avatar character and why. This is for you. This is only you.
My favorite Avatar character is Zuko. I'm really obsessed with his character arc.
So, and then what do you think of the Navalny situation, if you know it? Yeah, we
talked a lot about this.
We did. We listened to podcasts because I knew a decent amount, like overview of what was going on.
And I knew nothing.
What we basically landed on as like our collective response to this was, we would say that we would support, you know, Alexei Navalny, and it kind of sounds from what we've learned that a lot of young people really support him and want to move away from authoritarianism in Russia. I don't want to speak for obviously anybody, but that's kind of what we've gathered. And obviously it's so wrong that someone would just poison somebody else. That's such a slow and painful death if successful. It wasn't successful, by the way. Alexei Navalny lived.
I can't wrap my brain around that.
Yeah, you know, that's such a violently intimate death.
Well, the podcast that we listened to was also really interesting.
Yeah.
And they had a recording of him like moaning in pain
and
on the plane.
and
Crazy.
Yeah, that's really sad that someone would go through that. We obviously are very pro-speech and pro-democracy and that kind of thing, but we also want to acknowledge the fact that we have a lot of Western American privilege in believing those things, and we're not just going to be like, well, I think this and they should do this, because it's really easy for us to say, well, you know, we don't live there, we don't have to deal with this, you know, so it sounds like
And I don't think we're fully aware of the grasp that the Kremlin maybe has on its people's safety. Like, maybe they're just, you know.
I could never tell anybody from Russia, like, what's going to be best for them. Or,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
I can only talk from my experience or our experience when we are just relatively privileged people and, like, you know, live in a, you know, country that values free speech and democracy, and it's really easy to like force that American privilege onto a situation. So we don't want to do that, but we just wanted to basically say that that's how we felt about the whole thing. So so those are all the questions that we got, and that was a really fun road trip activity. And
And allowed us to soak up some sunshine before we really hit the drive.
It's so in the beautiful Tetons. It's so beautiful out here. Yeah, thanks for asking all those fun questions. We loved them. Yay.
You did.
Woo, 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 woo.
Should we hit the road?
Yeah. All right. Till next time.
All right, you go first.
Ouch.
Hmm.